Okay, so I am going to talk to you about lunches, and I'm going to talk to you about just kind of like, simplifying things for your family during a busy time when school gets back in session or whatever. So whether you're doing virtual learning or if you are sending your kids to school, either way, you have to deal with lunches, right? And so one of the best things that you can do for your kiddos for lunch is to go ahead and have things already prepackaged and super easy for them. However, it can be expensive to buy all those little baggies and the little pre-done things from the store. And so, so what we do here at home, and I'm going to post some pictures on Champion because as I was getting ready for this, I was taking pictures, and it was just easier for me to Zoom from my office instead of the kitchen tonight. But I took some pictures of what I did. So one of the best things to do, of course, is to buy in bulk and make your own pre-packages, right? And so, so I did a little bit of price comparison on a couple different items. One of the big things that we do a lot here at the house is fruit cocktail, right? So those fruit cups. So you can get 12 fruit cups for about $6.50-ish, like $6.53 or something like that from Walmart, right? But if you go and buy the big can from like Gordon Food Service or one of those sort of party supply places that has those big cans that restaurants use, right? When you buy one of those big cans, it's about the same price. It's about $6.50-ish. But you can get about 20 of like the 8-ounce like little Ideal Bowls worth of fruit cocktails. So that's a significant savings, and you're not putting all those things back into the environment. Some schools in the last couple years, some schools have had an initiative to lessen the waste, right? Coming out of the school. Some schools have the kids pack up their garbage and take it home. That doesn't make sense to me because you still have the waste. When I heard that the first time, I was like, that doesn't even make sense. All right. Other schools are rewarding the kids for using reusable products. All right. And so we, of course, have all of those things for them, and they're on sale right now. All right. So another thing that we do here at the house is potato chips, right? So we have them we pour them into our modular mate. But what I like to put my potato chips in are our sandwich keepers. Our sandwich keepers are perfect for potato chips because if you try to put them in a little Ideal bowl, you're not getting many chips, right? That's kind of a bummer. So put them in the sandwich keeper. It'll keep them nice and fresh, keep them whole, and have that ready to go. Now, I like to have this stuff already prepackaged, ready to go, whether or not it's summer or if the kids are virtual learning or if they're going to school. I like to have this stuff grab and go, as much grab and go as possible in the house. One, it takes care of, well, I can't say it takes care of portion control because I have 2 teenagers and they're just eat and eat and eat. And even if I put it into a container so they don't just like go at that big thing of fruit cocktail with a spoon, they're going to take like 3 containers, but whatever. So it's worth a shot, right? But they're growing and they're active, so that's a good thing. But we like to have things ready to go, like grab and go, ready to go. Because if I just leave it in a bag, right, they're going to take the whole bag to their room, make a big crummy mess. And this way it keeps things nice and tidy. It keeps it clean here for the house, but also I have it divided up so it's nice and easy. So I use potato bins. I use our potato bins, and I wrote their names on the potato bin. So everybody has their own bin. So when I do pre-portion everything, I put them into the specific bin so they know that they can go in anything in their bin. So if I buy them special candy at the store, I put it in their bin. If one of them requests, wants gum or something, I'll put that in their bin. So they know that they can only eat out of their bin. So then that keeps my daughter, who absolutely loves chocolate, will eat any chocolate not nailed down. Once her bin is empty of chocolate, she has to ask permission from somebody else to get into their bin, right? So let's see here. Okay. So that helps with that as well. And James's bin is down low. The other ones, we have a pot rack, and so that they're up high because we're a very tall family. But James's is down low on a table just below that, so he can go in and grab his own stuff too. So he has a little bit of candy in there and lots of different snacks and things that he can get on his own. And then for him, we actually even pour milk cups and we have them in the fridge for him. So for the other kids, they have water bottles. We have a water bottle station that has our empty water bottles. So when they're ready to go. They just fill up the water bottles and go. We haven't had water bottles in the house in a couple years. And for those of you that have not switched over to using our reusable water bottles on the regular basis, I highly encourage you to do so, because if you're anything like our house, I would find like 6 half-drunk water bottles, and I'm like dumping them out all the time. And then my bin is like full of water bottles, and it's maddening, okay? But it will also save you a lot of really great money too. So the other thing, as far as grab and go goes, you know, if your kids are, some schools have microwaves. Some do, like access for the kids, some do not. But if your kids are doing virtual learning, again, it will be less disruptive to your day. Your day is going to be disrupted anyways if they're doing virtual learning. Let's be real, okay? But you can at least have lunch taken care of. If you already have stuff prepackaged that they can grab and go, but also if you have stuff ready to go in the freezer or the refrigerator for them as well. So I've talked a lot about meal prep. If you've ever watched me train anytime in the last several years, I talk a lot about meal prep. We do a lot of prepping in our house. Sometimes I do a full-blown day and I do a whole bunch of different recipes, right? But a lot of times I don't, right? All I do is I simply, if I'm cooking dinner, I make a double or triple batch, right? And I freeze some of it. Some of it's left over. But that way we have our, and the Crystal Wave containers are my favorite. They are my favorite for the freezer, all right? And they're perfect. Those rectangular ones are absolutely perfect to be able to make your own freezer meals, right? So you're not buying the pre-made freezer meals that are at the store that are full of a lot of preservatives and a lot of salt and sodium, things like that. If you're worried about those things, or if you're like me and you have to really watch those ingredients, like you have to go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, I prefer to have my own meals that I prepped, that I know what's in there, so I can make them all organic if I choose, or I can just make sure that they're nice whole foods for me and my family, and they have something healthy that they can go. And it does, again, save you a lot of money in your food budget. You know, we are all healthy eaters at the house, myself included. I love food, all right? So anything I can do to kind of stretch that budget is an absolute win for us. So let's see here. Wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Chips, potato bins. Da, 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 da. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just to be prepared. And so we have Jubilee coming up. Yay! I'm so excited. I hope so many of you register for Jubilee. It's going to be amazing. But something that you want to do is you want to make sure that you set your family up for success. And so this kind of applies to that too. So this next week, when you're making your meals, if you make a couple like double batches of stuff, put it in the freezer, then next week it'll be really easy for you to be able to just heat something up for the kids for dinner and not have to worry about it. You're not stressing out your partner in the house and keeping them, you know, getting them frustrated while you're trying to participate in our Jubilee. And the other thing, there was one more thing, it just popped in my brain. Oh, so the other thing that I love to do, and again, it doesn't, you can do this whether they're virtual or whether they're going to school in person, but I have my most energy at the beginning of the day. And so once I get them situated, whether I get them situated with their schoolwork or whether I get them situated, I take them to school, right? Because I'm going to be driving them back and forth to school this year, everyone. And so once I come home from that, a lot of times I cook dinner right then. I cook dinner, like while my energy is high in the morning, I cook the dinner. And then that way on the nights, we're a traditional family. We still try to all eat together. I grew up in a household that you could not miss dinner. And it was funny because even after I went to college, I remember I was like, yeah, my girlfriend's like, hey, let's go out. And I said, okay, well, I can go out, but I got to be back by 6, but then I can go back out at 8. And she goes, are you guys still doing that family dinner thing? I'm like, yeah. And by then I was like, I'm all about it because I'm getting a home cooked meal, right? But you just could not, unless you were working or had sports, you could not miss dinner. No way, no day. You could leave before and you could leave after, but you had to be home for dinner. So we are not quite as structured in my house as we were growing up, but it's something that is very important to me to be able to look my kids in the eyes and talk to them about their day while we're having a meal together. In our busy life, it doesn't happen as much as I would like for it to, but several times a week we are able to do that. But one of the reasons why I like to cook dinner beforehand is like on rally night or something like that, or on a night when, you know, Joey's got band, Ella's got tennis and all of this. there's food in there for them to be able to pull out, heat up really fast. And so everybody's still eating the same thing. I know what they're eating. It's good for them. And they can just kind of eat it at their own timeline if they're in a hurry, or if maybe they're the only one who doesn't have anything going on that night. And so they have food and they're ready to go. So, so a little bit of prep will save you a lot of time and energy and a lot of your sanity, right? So you're not running around quite so much. So that way you can get some concentrated time on the things that you love most or on building your business.